He was only 14 when the shadow of the empire fell upon his shoulders. In a time of rebellion, war, and unrest, a child became caliph. The banners of the Ottomans were torn by the winds of conflict from Austria in the west to Persia in the east and rebellion at home. Yet, from that storm, Allah raised a ruler whose heart was filled not with conquest, but with restoration. This was Sultan Ahmad I, the 14th Sultan of the Ottomans, the 79th Caliph of Islam. A ruler remembered not for his armies, but for the mosque that still pierces the heavens, a young man who rebuilt faith and order after an age of fire. Born to Sultan Mehmed III, Ahmad ascended the throne in 1603 at only 14 years old, the Sultan of the 14s. 14 years he would reign. 14 when he became Sultan, 14th in the Ottoman line. And when his task was done, he would die at 28, his legacy eternal. He was the first Sultan who never served as governor. He learned the burden of power not from experience, but through faith. When his father passed, the young Sultan wrote to his Grand Vizier, "My father has returned to his lord. I now hold the throne. Keep order, for if chaos rises, your head will fall." It was the letter of a boy, but the warning of a ruler who already understood responsibility. The empire he inherited was surrounded by flames. To the west, Austria's armies marched. To the east, the Safavid Shah broke his oaths. And within Anatolia, chaos spread through rebellion and famine. Again Austria, the Ottomans had fought for 13 years. But the young Sultan brought the conflict to an end through the Treaty of Zhitvatorok in 1606. Though some called it a loss, the Sultan declared it an act of honor. "Let them bring gifts, not tribute, for we do not take taxes from equals. But they shall know who holds the banner of Islam in Europe." To the east, the long war with Iran ended in 1612. The Treaty of Istanbul drew a new border, close to that of today. The Safavids agreed to stop insulting the companions and the mothers of the believers, yet within 3 years they broke their word and reopened war. Still, for a moment, Ahmad had brought calm to a weary world. Inside Anatolia, disorder reigned. Disbanded soldiers roamed as bandits. For 14 years, villages were burned, markets emptied, people fled their homes. The Sultan called upon Grand Vizier Kuyuku, Murad Pasha, old in years, sharp in judgment, relentless in justice. He divided the rebels. Some he pardoned, some he destroyed. In 1 year, he marched from Bursa to Aleppo, cutting down the roots of sedition. Thousands of bandits perished. The people, long oppressed, aided him with their prayers and their hands. The fields were tilled again, the caravans returned to the roads. From chaos, order was reborn. The Sultan sent decrees to every province demanding that officials restore the rights of the poor. Justice, once cracked, was being mended. With peace returning, the Sultan turned his heart toward worship. He desired a mosque that would stand beside Hagia Sophia, not to compete with it, but to complete it. In 1609, on the edge of the imperial city, he laid the first stone himself, carrying soil in his robe. 7 years the work continued, a monument of light and devotion. Its 6 minarets reached to the heavens, its blue tiles shimmered like the morning sea. It became known as the Blue Mosque. Around it rose a madrasa, a hospice, a hospital, a fountain, and his own tomb, a city within the city, a living waqf of mercy. And in Mecca, 1 more minaret was raised at the Kaaba to honor his gift, Faith had become the foundation of his rule. While others built with stone, Ahmad built bridges between nations. In 1612 he welcomed the first envoy of the Netherlands, granting them trade privileges in the Muslim world. The same Ottoman navy that once broke the Spanish Armada had now opened the seas to new alliances. England, France, and the Netherlands all found shelter in the shade of the Caliphate. Tatsamur from the Nutational Court. The Sultan saw its harm and banned its use across the empire. Those caught smoking were paraded through the streets with their pipes fastened to their noses, a lesson to the heedless. For him, the empire's strength began with the discipline of its people. Ahmad was not content to build in stone alone. He sought to renew the sanctuaries of Islam. In 1612 he repaired the walls of the Kaaba, covered its roof with marble, and placed a golden rain spout above it. He built an iron cage around the Zamzam well, sent diamond-studded lamps to Mecca and Medina, and a marble minbar to the Prophet's mosque. He ordered that every mosque in the empire light oil lamps on the night of the Prophet's birth, a tradition that still glows today. His faith was deep and personal. He often wrote poetry under the pen name Botti, says Ahmad. Much gratitude is for you. My Lord, my only wealth is my love for you. He kept the Prophet's footprint in his mosque, but when he dreamt that Sultan Bey complained before the Prophet about its removal, Ahmad returned it, placing a replica upon his own crest as a reminder of submission. Once, the Sultan dreamed he wrestled the King of Austria and fell upon his back. Disturbed, he wrote to the Saint Aziz Mahmud Hadai before the letter even reached him. The saint handed a sealed reply to the messenger. The back is man's strongest part, and the earth the strongest of creation. When Timé, strength with strength, victory is near. Soon after, in 1605, the Ottoman army recaptured Estegum, and Austria sued for peace, just as the saint had foretold. Ahmad was a ruler of gentleness and strength. He banned indulgence, lived simply, and kept his court free from corruption. He sent the women of the palace away from politics, ending an age of intrigue. He oversaw every matter of state personally, writing orders in his own hand. He listened to scholars, appointed men of integrity, and walked among the people in plain clothes. The people said, "Our Sultan is one of us." He loved the sea, swimming in the Bosphorus, hunting in the forests, and practicing archery and swordsmanship. It was said that he once threw a mace 500 meters across the Eden walls, and a stone marker was placed where it fell. Ahmad was a man of mercy. When he took the throne, he abolished the ancient law of fratricide, refusing to harm his brother Mustafa. When he died, the viziers placed that same brother upon the throne instead of his son, marking a turning point in Ottoman tradition. From that moment, succession passed to the eldest living prince. Not the eldest son, a mercy that ended bloodshed, but opened the door to decline. Even mercy carries its trials. 3 of Ahmad's sons would later rule the empire: Esman, Murad, and Ibrahim. Troftem, his lononod medud matches. In the last 10 nights of Ramadan, 1617, the Sultan withdrew into seclusion, praying through the nights like his beloved prophet. He fell ill with fever, but continued his worship. The night before his Demseo alaikum furtim, when told no moed repliek, Ummah, Utman, andalikam tome. They gave me salam and told me that tomorrow I will meet the Prophet of Allah. The next day, he returned to his Lord at only 28 years old. He was buried beside the Blue Mosque the house he built for Allah and for history.